Here we go. Atzo winning the start for Camouflage right away, and Precisin's going to be the player that gains access to that shock rifle. Now, one thing to note, this is one of the first recharge games we're seeing. It didn't happen on this game, but sometimes you'll see a gravity hammer spawn in. According to HCS rules, you cannot pick up the gravity hammer nor the sword. They're not available for access in these games.
You can pick it up. You can't do damage with it is the official ruling. Sorry, I read the actual ruling.
That's
yesterday is you cannot do damage with the gravity hammer. So I don't know if backsmack counts as gravity hammer damage, but probably better to just not pick it up at all.
Right. No, use it. I guess you can use it for YYing if you really wanted to use it for YYing. But Noble able to get this ball away, and Luminosity going 3 down, but they've gotten that ball rotated to where they can reposition themselves right off respawn and still fight for this ball. And it's going to be a Precisin to get a big kill, and Precisin comes in right away. Precisin, a new player on the block, came from years of war on that Kansas City Pioneers roster, has been starting to make a name for himself in Halo, reigning from, I believe he plays out of Hawaii as well, so connection not going to be an impact for him anymore. LAN is all him.
It's got to feel good to not have to worry about that ping right now, and Precisin is showing us what he can do on the server. Already 3 kills and 3 assists, and the shock rifle, plenty of ammunition. He's going to look for a peek across top tower, 2 targets, a little bit of chain reaction damage across both of them, but hasn't found the headshot. Right now he's just playing a line of defense because Believe the Hype have that oddball in control. They took back the lead.
And Precisin, they have to deal with Precisin right here. His ability to get damage on the cross is immense, and there's one player trying to deal with them. The shock rifle, enough to get the kill, but the trade is in. It's 2 down for either side. Camo's up, but Luminosity has the better position to fight for. It's the one-on-one Neuronical versus Drit for Camo.
The 1v1 and both players kind of back off, wait for the respawners, but all the while, Believe the Hype have still maintained control of that oddball, not letting the reset come through, but Drift wins a great pivotal kill to start to open a path up for the rest of Luminosity to break through. And you see the oddball has been tossed out to middle. Believe the Hype feeling that pressure coming in, play the ball, and know that it goes back to Slayer, but Luminosity are the ones winning off of that faux reset.
I mean, Luminosity has a strong position with this ball, but Believe the Hype is quick to break through the top of A. You can see it's Precisin in the back working with his teammate to get those kills. He's last alive, and Drift needs to find the cleanup. It's the 1v1. Drift trying to get behind Precisin, but Precisin's been annoying. He bought enough time. His nade will find the cleanup. MoNnsTcR gets the ball, but MoNnsTcR isn't safe.
It was a deadly little merry-go-round spinning around that pillar. And now the players continue to fight at bottom elevator. Bullet gets a takedown, but is immediately traded back out. Neither team really with the footing that they want. Neuronical can't land the final shot as he is taken down. That means that the advantage now shifts back to Luminosity. They're back in this fight, and the oddball has stayed here at top A the majority of the game.
It's going to be about these next slays to see who can get this ball away, and Boam has gotten ahead of the rotation. They're rotating into a waiting player, and Boam's going to steal this one away. If he can get the playoff in time, his teammates can set up for next, or he can wait for the cavalry to arrive. They're here. Boam's going to be able to secure a massive amount of time.
A great rotation there from Boam. Catches the oddball, and instead of needing to reset, can actually get some more time on the clock, but it's Atzo with a double kill. That is the problem to be dealt with. Boam rounds the corner, winning over that kill, and Believe the Hype are going to pass this halfway point on the round. 50 seconds and counting.
See this Camouflage still on the ground, and did MoNnsTcR not see it? It's sitting on the jump up. I'm not sure why they didn't go for that Camouflage. I think Neuronical might have just grabbed that Camouflage to work with now, but Believe the Hype on a timer. You can see Luminosity starting to surge forward, and Boam waiting to see what this spawn is. If the spawn's correct, he's going to play this ball early, and they're going to play for a reset.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see the oddball holder drop the oddball and play for slays, but instead Boam's going to play for the reset. Gets to mind the gap, but it's Noble with the shock rifle. Finds that perfect headshot. And no time wasted. Usually you'll see some slays happening first, but they were quick on that oddball pickup.
Yeah, quick on the pickup. That's just heads up knowledge from them, but Luminosity were able to fight back through some slays. Unfortunately, they're losing the powerful weapon, right? The shock rifle. This can dictate an entire game by itself depending on its user. Such a powerful weapon in the right hands.
Keep an eye out for that also deadly shock rifle, and Bullet is taking a page out of Boamm's book, trying to rotate, but this is kind of deja vu, dropping that ball in the top of control room. Precisin firing out across the map, getting great damage onto Atzo, enough to kind of force him to take that long haul route and not continue over B. But Luminosity, even though they tried to rotate to the back of C, could not complete that rotation. Instead, believe the hype. Now just 12 seconds away from the first round, and they are adding insult to injury. Precisin getting kill after kill, holding down the oddball, doing everything.
Right, and that's going to be game. There's no opportunity for Luminosity really to stop this ball in time. These nades aren't going to land true. Game round one in the favor of Believe the Hype. But I think Luminosity showed that the talent's there, right? They just have to have the follow-up play. It seemed like they were able to find the breaks, but they weren't quite able to find the setup to get prolonged time.
And sometimes you need to have those prolonged holds. At least that's what Believe the Hype was doing. They were getting chunks of time across the board on that oddball. A lot of prioritization of the objective, but it's Drift who comes out with the camo for Luminosity. He finds one, he finds two, and look at that. He only took like one bullet of damage throughout that series. Drift can keep on utilizing this camo. It might even try to sneak down to bottom A to look for that flank play.
Right, they're able to get those kills, but they still don't have a powerful position to take this ball away. They have to get Believe the Hype out of the sewers of pipes. And while the rats come out and they bite hard, MoNnsTcR able to find the kill and the noob combo in his possession now. The next player has a deadly combination to deal with, and they go down. Believe the Hype able to stave off Luminosity's push.
And MoNnsTcR's not stopping. He's continuing to deliver the toughest bite that he can onto the side of Luminosity. And it was that first kill where we saw Drift with the camo. MoNnsTcR actually overextended through the grenades. He was flushed out of those pipes, but he was not afraid. And he's kind of been living here at the back of pipes. Now finally feeling safe enough to rotate the ball. And look at Believe the Hype. They already have a defensive setup. They're not scrambling at all. They waited for those positions, and at the right time, MoNnsTcR grabbed the oddball.
And now Neuronical, look at him pushing up on the right of your screen. He's going to have to deal with two players. He's going to be the player that alerts of where the push is coming from. And MoNnsTcR's getting the word, you need to play this ball. You've lost your position, but he plays catch. He brings it right back. MoNnsTcR wins the fight, but he just doesn't have the support he wants yet. Luminosity still has the ability to push, and MoNnsTcR's going to try for a quick rotate. Luminosity's not going to catch this in time, and MoNnsTcR's coming back for more. That's a great heads-up play by MoNnsTcR to make sure that this ball stays in their possession.
Yeah, MoNnsTcR almost having that oddball on the end of a string. You know, he tosses it out, it yo-yos right back to himself, and now the rotation to back C. Here comes the push from Luminosity. Atzo leading the way. He gets one. He gets the double with the use of that camo. And so far, Luminosity have monopolized camo in the second round. But even off of that camo, they haven't gotten any objective time.
Creeping up, Atzo has a player to deal with, and Atzo not going to be able to stay alive. And Luminosity, they've had most of the camouflages thus far, but they haven't been able to really put them to work.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the camo has not led to time on the oddball. Here comes the first seconds on the clock for Luminosity. Now watch out, Noble also has the repulsor, a fresh set. So you might see him drop the oddball or bait out the oddball even just to send someone from Believe the Hype flying off of the map. So I'm interested to see how that equipment can come into play. But right now, Noble doesn't have to do either of those things because he's just here to get time on the clock. This might be what you're talking about, Garrett. A chunk of time that Luminosity are getting on that objective.
This is exactly what you want to see for LG. They've been able to get time, and Noble's heads up with the play. He knows that the red players of Believe the Hype are swarming. He's going to give Atzo a chance to be an impact player over at Bat Ledge to get these kills, but Believe the Hype just keep knocking him down, and they're getting time at the same time. It's a tough spot that LG just put themselves in.
Okay, we talked to Snow Stats, and I want to show you the stat line of Boamm right now. 20 kills, 12 assists, only 11 deaths, and 78 seconds of objective. Boamm is the well-rounded player that is leading the charge for Believe the Hype, and right now they're looking at just 50-odd seconds of time left to take this game one to show why they are a top oddball team to be worried about. They crossed that 50-point mark. Luminosity are 2 down, so I expect them to get to 60, maybe even 70 seconds. Luminosity don't have a setup to make this push.
No, but they are getting camouflage, right? Bullet got that opening kill. They get the camo, and now they have the power weapon to break in. Boamm has to think about playing this ball early, and he will, but the kills are in, and now Luminosity has a powerful position for the retake.
I was just wishing that Believe the Hype hit one more second of objective time, but they came just short of hitting that 70-second mark. And Bullet with a shock rifle in hand has 3 grapples, but both the power weapon and the equipment are going to be dropped onto the ground. This is the pickup that Luminosity needs to win. They cannot afford Believe the Hype to get another defensive hold.
Monster trying to put down as much damage as possible, but his team is just so far away. They have to break into pipes, but they're worried about the crosses. But who was it? Neuronical. Dan gets behind them all. He gets the kills, and now the ball. Drift. Suddenly, it was like we were in such a strong position, and his teammates are gone.
That defensive position absolutely shattered by the Slays from Believe the Hype, led by Neuronical, who has the most kills across the board. And this is the part where Luminosity, they are kind of forced to scramble. They don't have the time to get the setup they want. They need to get that breaking kill, but Drift comes into a 1v2. He's eliminated. That's all 4 down for Luminosity. And oh man, we got Monster with some disrespect.
Yeah, Monster knows how good this team is on Oddball. He's been trying to clear his name from controversy for what feels like forever. And his team came out with a statement in game 1, 2-0 win over Luminosity, but not necessarily unexpected, right? We know how good Believe the Hype is at Oddball. It's their best game type throughout the HCS Open Series that we saw and the qualifier. And, well, we didn't have them losing the Oddball, right? But that's a great way to establish your gameplay early on.
Yeah, but I think that what you said right there at the end, establish their gameplay early on. That's why I said whoever takes game 1 is going to win the series. That's my prediction, my hot take, because now Believe the Hype, they're not just making other people believe in their ability to win. Now they have their self-confidence, right? Maybe that was lucky for them that the first mode was their strongest mode in the series, but it's going to be that much harder for Luminosity, not just because they're down a game, but because of the question marks that leaves in their mind. Do they have what it takes? And Slayer, I don't know. Who's your pick on this Slayer?
I think it all comes down to one player, and if they stand up, if they really step it up. I think Atzo has been letting his team down a little bit with his performance in the last couple games. I think if Atzo can come out, have a strong game, I think Luminosity has a chance. On the other side, though, I mean, Boamm was unreal, right? Most objective time, the highest damage in the lobby, was competing with Neuronical for the most kills. Like, they have to find a solution to Boamm, and that's where Boamm is the most effective. He reminds me of a player like Snakebite, like Swish. He's always going to be in the right spot to make the right play. He's smart, he's cerebral, but he also has the shot to back it up. When he feels himself, when he's in the right spots, he is a tough person to take down.
Yeah, he's gonna be even tougher in game 2 because he had that objective time. Now he doesn't have to worry about time with the oddball in his hands. He can just focus on the gunplay. So I think that Boamm is a great pick on the side of BtH, that if he is coming out as strong as he did in game 1, that is a problem for Luminosity. And who was the player you said for Luminosity? That's
I want Atzo to step up.
Atzo,
I think Atzo, I played against Atzo a lot in Halo 5, especially during some of those later tournaments. He's a good player. Like, he absolutely can step up and perform, but I think what we're seeing right now is they're missing tapping buttons. Like, tapping was that player that could come in and he could just step up and slay, and you could have a bad game. But you need to be consistent for all 4 players. They all need to be playing at a high level at the same time. And, you know, not having that main slayer like tapping, it's a huge blow, because now you're completely reliant on your teamwork.
And I think that with the losing Tapping Buttons, he's on Native White, that international roster that we've talked about time and time again. And Tapping Buttons and Drift, such a strong duo that has now been split onto 2 separate rosters. I think that this LAN experience is just that much more valuable for Luminosity because they are coming off of some roster changes. They are needing to adjust and adapt, and what better place to do it than in this series or in this tournament as a whole. I think that there's a lot of growth space for Luminosity. Like if you were, back when I was like playing basketball, you'd have like your MVP award, you'd have your defensive, but then you'd have the most improved player award. That is potential for Luminosity right there. But they're being put to the test, throughout these pool play.
Yeah, I mean, like they're young players who didn't have much LAN experience before Halo Infinite, and the LAN experience they did have wasn't on the biggest stage. And now suddenly they're representing. I mean, realistically, this is the team. Luminosity is representing Mexico and representing the rest of Latin America, who is a huge and rabid fan base, right? I mean, we saw the regional in Mexico. It was insane how many people were showing up and coming out to those events. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of love for Halo in the Latin American region, and I think it's time for Luminosity to step up to the plate, make some waves in pool play, upset some teams, and say, look, like, Mexico's a serious region. I think if I'm Mexico Magic, I'm kind of offended. Like, they took away that you only get 1 pool play spot, you get 1 open bracket spot for travel and funding and everything. And it's like, to me, that's I don't think HCS is intending to be disrespectful, but we're a big region. We showed up to the LAN. They had so much talent in that region, and now suddenly it feels like they're not getting the treatment that they think they deserve. But this is where you have to prove it, right? Luminosity needs to step up and play.
Yeah, we need the top teams in the Mexico region to really show up here on LAN to make a statement saying, we deserve these spots. We deserve more spots. But even having more teams that show up. So I know we have some open bracket teams as well from Mexico. This is their chance as well to shine and, maybe take over one of those undecided, I think, pool play spots. That would be huge.
The only problem is there's only 4 of them now. It's good. Open bracket. I think I think our broadcast is going to end well before the open bracket.
I'm going to go straight there.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want updates on what's going to happen, I think Magic's going to be in the Passion Pit giving updates on Twitter. So go follow Magic. What's your Twitter?
Thank you. Magic Moonshot.
Yeah, go follow her. She's going to be she's the sideline reporter for the open bracket. If you want to see what's happening over there, she'll have all the action later today. But Luminosity need to find the answer in game 2, and it's about shutting down Boammx. He was a pain the time before, and while he's being a pain once again, Commando versus AR, Boammx will take the Commando every day.
He's got the Commando, but he didn't fully recharge the shield before that next encounter, which is a big reason why Noble was able to come out with that takedown. Want to see if that plasma pistol comes back into play. Monster is shut down. That early lead, though, in the hands of Believe the Hype, but Luminosity are taking it right back. We got heat waves in play. We got so many slays. It's only been, 50 seconds of the game? We're already at 9 slays? This pace.
And while Triff found himself a sniper rifle, suddenly everything's in favor of Luminosity. They have tower, they have sandbags, they have overshield and sniper. This is their chance to put some separation on the scoreboard, and Drift needs to hit some big shots, but Monster shuts him down.
Drift needed to hit that no-scope body shot as Monster clambered to the top of tower, but he just did not connect, and Monster comes out with a crucial double kill. Just when it looked like everything was going to go Luminosity's way, all of a sudden, Believe the Hype are back. And then here's the immediate response. It's Bullet with the heat wave. I think that sniper is almost out of ammo, so we'll watch and see where that ended up. But it's Bullet right now with the heat wave taking back that powerful tower position, and that heat wave has some range as he gets a kill.
Yeah, Bullet getting a little overzealous right there, gave himself up to the overshield push, expecting no one to be there, and you just can't give up heat waves like that. The heat wave's so powerful in this game, and well, they're giving it back to Believe the Hype, and Noble's already feeling that pressure.
The pressure is on. This game is neck and neck. A little bit of an early lead from Believe the Hype, but Luminosity have been right there on the cusp of a takeover. And now Atzo, this player that you said watch out, because if he pops off, it's going to be dangerous. And now with the overshield in hand, he is free to do just that. He finds one to get the tie. I want to see who gets this next kill. Do Luminosity get their first lead of the game?
Atzo has the utility to go up high. He goes soaring, but the rest of Believe the Hype chilling over by the cuts and underneath the map. And they're kind of letting Luminosity have free reign to push forward. Finally, Precisin gets the kill, but I think Luminosity has a great chance to collapse and get a clean wipe.
And they do take the lead. They are collapsing on those slays. Almost a return the sender from Atzo with the use of that repulsor to send back the grenade. Noble rotating now to C-plat and kind of hovering over because the sniper is spawning in. That's why you see Noble not overextending, waiting for that sniper, and it's Bullet who gets the double kill to clear a path for a clean sniper pickup. This is right back to where Luminosity has everything in their hands to work with.
Now, Luminosity's done an incredible job at controlling the power weapons thus far, and honestly, if they win this game, it's going to be because of that. They have always had the weapons in their hand. Believe the Hype trying to break into setups instead of forming them.
But it's not enough to have the weapons in hand. You got to do some damage. It's kind of like the gravity hammer rule. You can maybe pick it up, but you can't do any damage. In this case, Noble needs to deal some damage. He has two players down to one shot. He catches their backs for the double kill, but oh no, he catches a little bit of friendly fire as he is taken down. You love the double kill, but I was itching for that triple.
Yeah, and that's where we need to see Luminosity play a little bit better. It's about the follow-up play, right? You get the first two kills, that's great. You had an overkill. That was from, I would say if that's Lucid, he's getting the overkill right there, right? And we need to see that sort of talent reign through for Luminosity because it's there, but I don't see that confidence in that they're gonna take that snipe shot and believe it that they're gonna hit that and be ready for the over.
Yeah, building off of great opening plays is probably the missing piece for Luminosity, but they still have the lead in this game, number 2. They're up by 3. They want to tie up the series. Bullet trying to stay alive, recharging that shield, and now cutting through the bottom of the map to that subway system. We have two players from Believe the Hype trapped at the back of C, but the trade is not going to be enough to gain that position. Precisin is the one to win out that piv, and now Believe the Hype have full control of this map.
I mean, when we talk about the end of that game, that kill that Precisin got on Noble might be the most important. Yeah. Look at Noble's stat line. He's 14-5. That man was unkillable on that map, and Precisin just wins the clean one-on-one. There was nothing but skill involved in that gunfight as we see some Goomba stopping at bottom tower, but I think that might be where this game changes. Believe the Hype might start to get some heat from big pivotal kills like that one.
Well, right now, they are 1 point down in what has been a back-to-back scrappy fight, back and forth all throughout. Luminosity, though, oh no, the back smack comes through. That's a team wipe. All go down for Believe the Hype. Luminosity once again in the driver's seat.
Luminosity have a real chance right now to finish this off. And they just need to keep these collapses. Look at the momentum that they're playing with. Believe the Hype are scrambling on this map. They can't get together. Believe the Hype is a team that's very dependent on having each other's help at all times. They feast and famine off the assists that they get off in games. And so far, they've done a great job at getting those opening assists in the game. But this is where it gets dangerous for them. If they start getting separated, Luminosity have a real chance to win this game.
Yeah, even with Monster picking up the overshield, 2 players on the team went down. So he might have the overshield in hand, but he's so split from the rest of the team that this overshield is just draining. He finds the snipe, the headshot comes through. Still has a little bit of that extra shield, but it is quickly melted. It was a beautiful snipe play, but I don't credit that to the overshield pickup. That's just the power weapon.
Only 4 more kills to go. Monster needs to hit some big shots, but the poor man sniper rifle gets the job done. And now as the heat wave, as the backup, things are collapsing. Believe the Hype is floundering at the end of this game. There's nothing they can do. They can't keep their head above water. Luminosity surges forward 1-1. This series is tied up.
A tied series here in pool play. Luminosity coming out of that game when it counts. It was back and forth throughout, but when we hit where Slayer really starts at that 30 kill mark, all of a sudden, Luminosity went off. And I have to say, if rock beats scissor and paper beats rock, Heatwave beats sniper. That's what it came down to.
Yeah, I mean, the Heatwave was so effective in that game. And what I really think broke down for Believe the Hype at the end was that 3 down that we saw, right? They were at dummies. They went 3 down. And I say that because Snow gave me some really interesting stats during that game. 100% win rate when they get 25 or more assists.
Wow.
They had 25 or more assists at the beginning of that game. But when that happened and they got separated, the assists stopped rolling in. They were isolated games. They are isolated fights. And that's where we started to see Luminosity really start to take charge, take the lead. So although the beginning was going, I think it was fine for Believe the Hype. If they kept playing at that pace, they would have eventually caught up. But it's that 3 down. Once they get into isolation Slayer, that's when they're at their worst. And that's where Luminosity took advantage, completed their game. And now you're tied up in the series. Your game 1's behind you. That was Believe the Hype's best game type. Now you're even. Where does game 3 go?
I mean, that is the question. Where does game 3 go? Such a pivotal match throughout the series. And I loved what you had said in the middle, first quarter of that game, where Luminosity was making plays, but they weren't building off of it. All of a sudden that shifted right around the 25-30 kill mark. All of a sudden what you see from Luminosity is they're getting those kills, those takedowns, and then they're keeping Believe the Hype scattered, where they cannot group up, where they cannot team shot. And that was the shift that led to the victory for Luminosity. If they can break apart Believe the Hype, they can break apart that team fire, that's their wedge in the door. They can swing the series wide open.
Yeah, I see Mr. Snow in the back right now he's grinning. He has a big old smile on his face.
Let's go Luminosity.
Because he predicted that Believe the Hype was not going to take this series, right? That they were going to fall, and now suddenly we're starting to see some of those weaknesses in their game.
Wait a minute. He predicted that Believe the Hype wasn't going to take a match.
No, a match.
Oh, a match. The whole series?
Yeah, so he thinks that
3-1. I had a 3-1.
3-1.
Oh, okay. I thought he had predicted it 0-3. Okay, my bad.
No,
He 0-3 throughout pool play is what he was predicting, and not in a series.
So
stats-wise, still on par.
Stats-wise, I mean, we're on pace, 3-1. We'll have to see. King of the Hill Street, it's probably going to determine a lot in this game. I mean, Believe the Hype need to bounce back. This is a team that is very team oriented, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be about sis. It's going to be about playing together. And there are teams when things start to go bad, it's hard for them to get back on the same page.
Right.
And so this game is all about the bounce back, right? Making sure that you just play together strong, that you put the last game behind you. Often the phrase is that the worst team wins Slayer. So it's pretty easy to put it just discount what Luminosity did, but you can't discount who they are, right?
Oh.
They're still a very good team. You still have to put them away.
You can discount what they did, but don't discount who they are. Put that on a t-shirt somewhere. That was pretty profound. I like that. Just because they beat you only in Slayer, you can't rest on game 3 and 4 being objective and just say, okay, that's the 3-1. We're gonna take it, and then not worry about that Slayer potentially in game 5. Right now, Believe the Hype need to take Luminosity seriously, and this is it. This is that pivotal game 3. We're on board with MoNnsTcR. He's looking for a takedown. He's going to find more than he bargained for. It's the stalker rifle in his face as he gets the trade.
Oh, Neuronical's last alive. He's found the Rockets, but there's a player ahead. He's going to have to trade down. Rockets still down, and they're moving to Luminosity, who already has the hill. Believe the Hype in a dire position in the bottom of C, and there's a rocket ready for them if they try to push forward.
We didn't get a shout-out Noble, who was the leading Slayer for Luminosity in game number 2, and trying to add to that stat line himself with the use of the rocket. But once again, Rockets only coming out with a net 0, a trade of kills. Neuronical cleans up 1, has to double back to regen that shield, pop a quick reload, but he knows where Luminosity is rotating through driveway.
Neuronical's trying to stay up high. Neuronical really an impact player there. He was the player that lost Rockets, but his response right off spawn, breaking the setup of Luminosity. And now Luminosity playing from that downhill position, having to break up into that hill. It's tough to find these breaks, and Bullet, he's feeling the pressure from up high. He's going to have to back on down. But once again, it's Neuronical. He's so smart. Look,
Oh, no.
I don't think Bolt's going to get through without taking a ton of damage.
Oh, you were so right. It was Neuronical shooting at the back, and it's off of that positioning, off of that kind of sneaky placement that now we see Believe the Hype crossing past the halfway point on this capture. Luminosity need to fully reset, but they're taking a new approach. This time they're rotating through Cafe to planters. Will this approach work where driveway side didn't?
Yeah, they need to find the break because it's a massive risk if they don't. They're going to lose the next spawn rotation into the next hill if they don't win this break. Noble, he just hedged his bets, went to bottom C, trying to secure the next spawn for his team. As his teammates pick up rockets, they still have a chance to break this hill. Two go down, the last two in hill. Can they get there in time? One more to go. Noble able to get those kills with the help of his teammate. Luminosity still alive and in the first rotation.
Drift got the double kill to break the final defensive players from Believe the Hype, but watch out because Believe the Hype only have to break this hold one time, and Luminosity are down in numbers. I don't think it's going to be enough. Luminosity need to quick adjust and set up for the second hill. Neuronical is on the hill. They're still contesting. They're still in the fight. They're not ready to give up a point just yet.
And look at this. Monster rotated to see, assuming his team was going to break in, but now suddenly they have to fight uphill, right? This is where you don't want to have to fight from. Monster's coming up these stairs, but there's Owen looking. How does he get through? They still are able to get the kills, but the opportunity's running out for Believe the Hype. This hill is slipping away from them. They're all down. Monster first up, but he just can't get there. And they went 4 down at the worst moment. The rotation is won from Luminosity.
Somebody call the police because we just witnessed a robbery live on screen. Believe the Hype just seconds away from the capture. I said, Luminosity, let them have this. Set up for the next hill. They said, no way. We're going after this hill. We are not giving Believe the Hype anything. And the fight is still as scrappy. Continuing on hill number 2. It's Bullet in the hill. Locking sight on top of C. Precision on the rotation, but Bullet going to find himself in the middle of a 1v2. Going for a trade counts as a win.
Oh, Monster's been lurking behind on the setups of Believe the Hype. Always that isolated player away from everything. It came at a massive cost on that first hill rotation, and he's not there to help the rest of his team. We talked in the pregame Magic about how they have to play as a team, and when things start going bad, how do they respond? So far, they haven't been able to get it together, and Drift's doing some damage. He gets 2, and he was looking for more. Monster's going to get away with those rockets. But I am nervous for this Believe the Hype roster.
We need to see the rebound from Believe the Hype, the regain off of that Game 2 loss. And we thought that the first hill on the board was going to be that sign of bouncing right back. But now they need to adjust again. One more rocket left for Monster. There's 2 players around by P Street. If he can lock on for a kill or potentially a double, he's going to find the back of Noble. The trap coming in, and all this time, Believe the Hype have had a player on the objective. So they have that objective time, but they have to remember, they need 100% of the hill to count as a capture.
And Atzo's being a pain over at top B. He's giving his team an opportunity to fight for this hill. Drift gets 1. Monster's trying to get back to play this back position. But the push is in. Luminosity is knocking on the door. How is your defenses? Atzo breaks on in. The rest of Luminosity is here. It's a blue wave as they get into the second hill.
There was no knocking on that door, Garrett. That was fully kicking the door down. Luminosity took control, and Believe the Hype took that personally because Luminosity are going down. Bullet last alive. That's an extended team wipe. Luminosity now with that disadvantageous spawn clear across the map, and Believe the Hype only need to lock this hill down for a few more seconds. But just like that, Noble has the double kill. I got a little nervous. They got the hill.
It was looking like deja vu for a second. They're lucky that he was able to get that hill just in time, and now it's another fight for rotation. We're tied up 1-1 on the game and series. This rotation could determine everything. Rockets up now, and it looks like Neuronical is going to be the player who is able to put those in. but has to waste 2 of them just to get 1 kill.
Yeah, the first rocket just a little bit too high that it didn't get the blast damage off of the ground that he needed to get 1 rocket for 1 kill. But hey, at least he came away with his life as well. So not a trade on rockets like we saw from the very first pickup. Neuronical is leading across the board for slays, 14 and only 9 deaths. Add to it some assists and some more of that team fire that we've been looking for from Believe the Hype. They're coming through with it.
Neuronical's getting great damage downrange. His teammates are picking everything up, and now Believe the Hype's starting to get that momentum. This is where they're dangerous. It's when they're playing as a team, when they're getting these wipes, and Neuronical wants to be let loose. He wants to get into the front lines against Luminosity. He finds the first, his teammate pushing up for the second. Luminosity able to get trades out, but the PD spawn's what's important here, and Precisin just won one of the biggest fights you'll see. If he lost that fight, we would have seen a flip of spawns. Instead, Neuronical has a chance to still fight for PD.
Precisin did lose a pivotal kill in game number 2, but in game number 3, he gets that win when it's needed. And with that, Believe the Hype are holding on to control of these PD side spawns, but oh no, Bullet gets a kill. Precisin is now last alive. Luminosity completely rotating across the map, has snuck around behind. And they're looking like they're about to steal another hill off of Believe the Hype.
Right, this is where we saw Believe the Hype at their weakest in the first rotation. It's when they lost the setup. They had to fight uphill, and while things are going bad, again, 2 go down. It's only Boammx and MoNnsTcR who are working in that B lane, but Noble has something he wants to say about it. Gets damage down, waiting for the help of Bullet towards this ATM, but Bullet not able to get that damage in. The nade shot not going to be enough. Suddenly, MoNnsTcR's breaking through.
Looking for a little remote detonation on those spikes, but it's not going to come through. Here comes the break. Atzo staying alive at the back of PD, trying to keep teammates alive, but that's the team fire. Believe the Hype showing us how to break those holds. Assists coming through on multiple slays.
Believe the Hype, this is their weakest game type. They've never scored more than 2 hills against a top 6 team. They have struggled time and time again, but finally they have a controlling pace on King of the Hill, but you have to finish it. Luminosity wins the rotation. Can they break the monkey curse that they have? I don't know why I said that. I'm so sorry. That's really funny. I don't know what I was trying to say. But they've never gotten more than 2 hill captures. That's all I'm trying to get at.
Yeah,
That's really funny.
break that 3rd hill. This is their chance. Believe the Hype. They have plenty of time to do so, and a quick rotation off of that 2nd capture. I'm telling you, that 1st hill that was stolen, they took it personally, and you're seeing that in their level of play now. Back-to-back hills captured by Believe the Hype, but they want to get that 3rd one on the board. And this might be the last slowdown we see in the game. Drift gets a double kill on the other side, so you see Precisin rotating, but it's Noble flanking behind from Luminosity. They're really pinching from both sides, and it's working. Now Precisin has to play a little bit safe.
Yeah, against top teams, they've never scored more than 2 hill captures, and, well, things are looking better this time around. They find the break, but they still don't have control of the spawns. You see Luminosity getting those PD spawns. That's what you want to see if you're going to break into this hill, but the kill feed still lights up red for Believe the Hype.
Plenty of time for them, and that 3rd capture could just secure the game, because you know where we go after hill number 4? Bottom mid, and it's gonna be a bloodbath. Neuronical already with 2 kills in a row, the double kill, hitting that 20 kill mark. And Boammx just being the all-around solid, smart, cerebral player that you referenced earlier. They can play for a stall here. They could play for the capture. All the options for Believe the Hype.
Yes, everything's so much easier when you're up 3-1. They don't really have to play for this hill, and it's going to be about those bottoms. If you can control C and A at the same time, have that straight line through the map and force Luminosity to fight through B, that's when things can get hard. And, well, Precisin has the C spawns. Look at all of Luminosity. They're towards B. It's going to be so tough to break into this hill.
It's going to be a tough break, but if there is a way to break through, it's got to be from that top C position, which is what Precisin has locked down right now. Stalker rifle plus a rocket really has all the tools, and I don't know why he's leaving. Okay, I'm just gonna say maybe a little impatient, maybe a little greedy for kills. Either way, Precision does find a slay, and off of it, he's able to grab the Bulldog. He has the backs of multiple Luminosity players. 3 go down for Luminosity.
Yeah, I love the play from MoNnsTcR. Although he doesn't do much, right? You see him at the back of C. He went to the back of C and told his teammates, go forward, right? I'll hold down this spawn. We need those rockets in play. They put it right into use, and they find the kills, and it's done and out. Luminosity not going to be able to complete the comeback in this game. They are going to be down in this series. Believe the Hype almost ready to take this series.
And I think you found the key to the success for Believe the Hype when they are fighting together as a team, which is most, I guess, obviously seen from the assist count. That's the best way you can like look at the success or failure of that is from the number of assists. And when they are getting assists off those slays, they are winning team wipe after team wipe. They're bouncing back. They're locking down spawns. They're holding map control. And when it comes to streets, they're even controlling the sandbox. Also important and a great game 3. That's the kind of rebound you wanted to see.
Look at Precision's damage, 6,900 damage for him. He was so far ahead of everyone else when it comes to the damage output he was able to provide. And, you know, there were scary moments for Believe the Hype, but they kept icing up, right? That's what's important is that although they lost that first hill, and one of the worst ways I've ever seen, they were able to keep chugging forward, able to get those next hills, get back together, and that's the resiliency that I was looking for if this Believe the Hype roster is really gonna live up to their hype.
I want to disagree on the most minutest of points. Was Luminosity stealing that first hill unfortunate for Believe the Hype, or was that the fire they needed to kind of come back to full form? Because off of it, they got 3 straight captures, and the way they got the next 3 captures was so much more like it was more refined, where they looked a little bit sloppy early on. I
don't know, if I'm in that lobby, I'm checking my entire team out. I'm taking them to the Target self checkout because I'm like, come on guys, like we should have let the hill. We're like 1 second away. You know, that's like I think it's hard not to get in your head with that.
I guess.
No, but yeah, the Hype, like you said, they were resilient. They picked it up. It was a little bit nervous on hill 3, right, over at PD, where it looked like the same was going to happen once again. But we talked about the damage that Precision was doing. I want to talk about the positions Neuronical was taking. I think Neuronical is a big reason as to why they never got too far gone. He was always fighting for those spawns. Yeah. And I think it really worked for Believe the Hype in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely worked. And when we rotated off of that hill, that 3rd hill over to the 4th, they captured that one so quickly. There was one moment there where Luminosity had a push coming from back of C and A at the same time, where you thought they might break through off of the missed remote detonation on the spikes, I believe. And when that fell through, that was pretty much game over. Believe the Hype locked down that Bulldog side hill, and from there was just not enough time.
Yeah, I mean, that 4th hill is like a money hill. The second you get set up, it's so hard to break. You really, like, there's not that many money hills on on streets, and that's the big one, right? If you're up 2-1 going into that hill and you win rotation, it's almost GG every single time. And that was what was impressive to me, is that Believe the Hype didn't win the rotation to hill 4, right? They were able to capture hill 3, but they had to fight through Luminosity to get hill 4. They are able to be successful with that, and then the second you break it feels impossible, right? You have to break, so that's why it's so awkward, right, Magic? You have to break PD spawns because you want the access to, you don't want to fight up, you don't want to fight from bottom to the high ground, and especially with the lanes that purple provides, it's very condensed and very narrow, easy to nade out, easy to team shoot. So you have to break through to PD, and then from PD start organizing split pushes to like push into Cafe from different angles at the same time. So it takes a lot of coordination, it takes a lot of time, and it's just time that Luminosity couldn't afford.
No, I love that. I think that it does so often come down to that hill, because coming off of hill number 4, it's either going to be a 2-2 or a 3-1, or it's a game over, I guess, is the only other possible outcome if it's a 4-0 at that point. So really prioritizing that hill and locking it down. It kind of reminds me of the back of A hill spawn on Recharge, but that's a story for another day, because we're heading into game 4. Believe the Hype showed us the rebound, showed us that regain potential, but now it's CTF Aquarius, and this is the first time I personally have seen Aquarius on the broadcast.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've seen Aquarius today for us, and I'm excited for it. I love some Aquarius flag, fast pace. We're going to see a lot of action, and although Luminosity wins the opening break, right, they're not going to win the follow-up. Believe the Hype able to come in. They're getting more kills, and Neuronical surging into the base, ready to pull out another flag.
The flag runs on Aquarius can be so quick. You compare this to pretty much any other capture the flag map, and it finally seems reasonable that the cap count is 5 caps for the win. But as almost a minute has gone by, no flag pulls just yet. Both teams are fighting for sandbox and map control, and right now it's all Luminosity, Precisin trying to stay alive, but it's that wave of blue coming through and taking him down. Watch out, Bullet has the heat wave.
Oh, and look how fast they're playing into this flag. It was Noble who got forward. He cheated the timing, right? Was able to have advanced timing to get into that base, and when Luminosity won the gunfights, he gets the pull, but Neuronical, once again, the player that stands strong, he's going to be able to stop that flag. That's a really scary moment from Believe the Hype. If Neuronical doesn't win the one-on-one, that flag is captured.
Yeah, Noble was very sneaky on that rotation to get that flag pull and get it nearly halfway across the map, but Neuronical with the key shutdown, already sitting at 5 and 2. A nice little thruster used and re-engages, ends up coming out with a trade. And right now it's Luminosity with the top mid control, but Noble has to leave that map position in order to chase down the kill on the flag runner. Now in a fight against Boam, great wins coming out from Noble.
And Neuronical trying his best to take down Noble, but Noble is an output machine when it comes to damage. I can't believe that flag got picked up at the last second. They're going to get the return nonetheless, but scary moments when Noble just cannot be shut down. Went on an absolute reign of terror, putting down damage. It's not even about the kills, Magic. It's about him just moving to the next fight as soon as possible.
Yeah, he looked very smooth on the gameplay, the gunplay, and the movement in perfect harmony for Noble to go on a run. Just like Neuronical had the clutch kill to get the reset, now Luminosity come out with some key kills. They reset the flag, and we're back at ground zero. 2 kills for Believe the Hype. Neuronical at top mid, but it's Bullet they have to deal with. Look at how far back in their base Believe the Hype is. Even off of these slays, they're not close enough to get a flag touch.
Yeah, it was funny. They were like 2 down, and you see Neuronical looking into the base. Probably his own base. Believe the Hype we're trying to clear everything of any potential rats, and well, successful on their extermination trip. Neuronical looking to knock at Luminosity's home, but they're checking their corner. Like I said, there's no rats anywhere. There's poison laying around everywhere. The exterminators are in. Drift gets this heat wave, and look at this. He's leaked through. Look at this time. There's no one here. If his teammates get the kills, this is going to be a great opportunity for him to pull the flag. If they don't get the kills, you can just keep wrapping and work on a pinch with your teammates.
That's exactly what he's doing. He's working on that pinch. They didn't have the control that they needed. They didn't have the slays they needed to get a flagpole of their own. So Drift, instead of overextending solo in what would have potentially been a very quickly shut down flag run, instead coming back to get some security for Luminosity. The shots are raining true. Drift is finally taken down. But this flag is up for grabs. I don't know if there's anyone from Luminosity that can get to it for the reset. Atzo waits for the shield. Now is on board. That return comes through yet again. And we have yet to see a flag run making it past that 50-yard line.
It's been so tough for these teams just to get past that line. We've seen some stiff defenses on the recovery for these teams. And Atzo's behind enemy lines. He's getting some great damage in. A little precision. Although he goes down, right, him pushing forward, getting that punch, alleviates pressure for Believe the Hype. They get the immediate trade, and now they're ready to make a push of their own.
Yeah, it almost made it a trade situation to leave that player at 1 shot. A quick cleanup for Believe the Hype, and again, their team play is so crucial. Monster with the most assists with 6, but he's taken down. Who from Believe the Hype can fight together? They're kind of starting to get some staggered spawns, and that could spell trouble. This is where Luminosity take advantage.
And look at Luminosity. They're controlling this base. This is a flag that looks more and more likely that it's going to go home. Noble's keeping them away. The damage is in. If he can stay alive, we could be looking at back-to-backs. No player, bottom, middle, and top. Finally, they're able to take down Noble, but the damage is done. 1 flag on board. Luminosity capture. Believe the Hype looking for a counter.
No, there was no opportunity for a relay of the flags, but the first capture does go to Luminosity, and Neuronical is getting slay after slay, 14 and 8, nearly doubled up. And this is starting to look like a deja vu from that Strongholds game we just came off of, where Luminosity drew first blood, and then all of a sudden, Believe the Hype playing with another level of intensity.
Well, Drift is just causing havoc in the back of Believe the Hype space. Precisin trying to find him, but he's taking damage of his own. They're all falling down. This flag is dead in the water, and it could be a counter. This has been Believe the Hype's worst game type, and it's for one reason in particular: their lack of efficiency. They're averaging 6 flag steals per cap. They're able to recover this one, but it takes them 6 flag pulls to average a cap.
Yeah, that is not the objective efficiency that you're looking for. You need to cut that about in half, maybe 3 flag pulls per capture, something like that, to look a little bit decent. They do tie up the game, though. So a little bit of that, what we saw from game 2, where they might not have gotten the first objective point, but they are able to regain even mid-game. But Neuronical had the camo, can't do anything. Luminosity sniffed him out. They came in for the trap. Luminosity in full control of this seaside, and it's Drift with a little bit of overextension, getting information for his team as he shoots the 2 players on the bridge.
I believe the Hype's struggling to get out of their base, and this is where it gets dangerous. If they lose these slays, this is basically a guaranteed flag cap. They're knocking on the door. Drift knocks them down. 3 go down for Believe the Hype. It's up to Boamm to stop the flag. Bullet's there. Boamm needs to win the fight. It's not going to happen. Bullet's going to be able to get around the corner, and now Believe the Hype they did buy some time from Boamm's play, but they have to find slays.
Bullet winning that pivotal kill to rotate the flag, and then also that he had time to regen his shield before the respawners came through. And now you're looking at it. Boamm is now last alive again for Believe the Hype. They're not in position to stop this flag. Bullet, grab the flag. Come on. Leaving us in a little bit of suspense, okay? They're trying to draw it out.
I don't blame them, Magic. Those flags weigh like 2,000 pounds now. They're hard to pick up. I understand. We're going to see some tough flag running, in particular this event with the new bug, but they're adapting as much as they can. 2-1, and Luminosity's been highly efficient at pulling these flags and getting them home. That's where Believe the Hype need to be a bit better, but Luminosity playing some stiff defenses. It's just Atzo alive, though, as we're seeing a flag pull from Believe the Hype. This is important for them to get home.
We've seen every other flag capture coming through. When Luminosity gets a flag capture, Believe the Hype gets the next, then back and forth. But this flag run is getting stopped. There's not going to be enough time. Drift is tossing the grenades out, and I expect this flag to get reset unless somebody desperates for it, which could cost them in the end.
Well, great shots. They are able to pull the flag, but Drift's ready to fight. The nades come through. The nades do not do not stop Boamm from getting that capture in. And I think what we're seeing is Believe the Hype are falling for their normal faults, right? They've left multiple flags out that could be returned, but Luminosity isn't executing on those opportunities. So often we see them get them 3 down, no one's next to flag, no one's hopping on that return. They're trying to overslay an extra time, and they're giving Believe the Hype too much opportunity to pull out flags. But the way Luminosity has been able to get into Believe the Hype space has been impressive thus far, and I think that's why Believe the Hype is having quite a bit of trouble with this Luminosity roster right now.
Yeah, you're not seeing like what we saw from Navi earlier, some very selfless plays that were objectively oriented, where players like Mighty were hopping on the flag immediately, sacrificing your life for the reset. Luminosity had opportunity on this flag that Believe the Hype end up capturing, but they didn't step foot on the flag to get the reset in time. And so now we're here deadlocked 2-2, under 3 minutes left on the clock. And it's very well possible that the next capture wins the game.
Bullet, he's nervous. There's 2 players ready to push in, and they're in. Bullet's going to take some heavy damages, but look at Drift. Drift has pulled a flag away, but there's no one else to execute on that. Dude, if Drift would have kept running, this flag, I mean, we're talking about potentially a flag cap. He's ready to play defense. He's getting in the front lines. The kills are going in, but the flag was left behind. Oh, Drift has to be kicking himself. I think he left the flag because it was a heavy juggle. He wasn't able to juggle it right because of the new mechanics. But if he would have kept that flag going, that's like flag cap for Luminosity.
Yeah, you had to at some point trust your teammates to play defense while you're running offense, but it looks like Drift gave up on that flag in order to double back. and play defense instead. But you got to play both sides if you're going to come out with a win. And now Believe the Hype are running a flag. They've crossed that halfway point. Neuronical with a high ground, but it's Noble with the double kill, shutting down that run. Players starting to desperate for these flags because they are aware of how much time is left on the clock.
Neuronical's playing up high. He wants to stop these players from getting closer to that return, but it's a flag that just doesn't get home. It was a shock nade that really kept Believe the Hype off it, and well, the second they felt the pressure come up from up high, you saw the players from Luminosity drop down, get that return right away. And with a minute and 20 seconds left in this game, Luminosity have a real opportunity here to get a flag home and to steal this game away.
Atzo he was a step away. So close. And just like that, no, Luminosity now go 3 down. Noble lasts alive, fighting in a 1v1, but he can't land the last bullet. No way. Luckily, a teammate came there to help, and then he got the reload off. Didn't quite choke on that play as we were starting to worry about. Looks like Boammx here at the low ground. Noble hearing some footsteps or hearing some movement, ready to take on that fight, but now he has to deal with Monster. He comes out, he doesn't get traded out. Can he stay alive?
Noble's doing a great job trying to get in, wants to finish these guys. I think someone crashed.
Are you sure?
He was just teabagging in a corner. I don't know. We'll have to see. The flag's out and away. I mean, Luminosity's about to score. Believe the Hype trying to push forward, but there's only 30 seconds left. This is so tough.
20 seconds left on the clock. That flag run continues for Luminosity. They are just steps away from forcing a game 5, but the counter pull comes through. We're looking at a sudden death with both flags out. 10 seconds in regulation. Neuronical rotating through, going for the reset, getting the reset. But there's no one running the flag. He can't play offense and defense at the same time. Watching the time on that flag, it's just got a quarter left, just a few seconds, and I think that means that it's going to be reset. We're going to overtime.
I was concerned that someone crashed because the player had died.
It was a mental.
Yeah, he was just teabagging in the corner.
Psychological warfare. He knew he was going to die, so he was just trying to throw off the players like he did for him.
If I get that kill, I'm like, hey, I think one of them crashed. You start commenting, you think the game's over, but no. Overtime here we come. 5 minutes. Luminosity are doing a great job on the slays thus far. I believe they are outslaying at the moment, and well, that's a case of history for Believe the Hype.
Yeah.
They are 2-2 in their CTF during the open series and qualifiers of this year, but they've never outslayed a team on flag.
Well, this is their chance to rewrite that history, and what an opportunity to do it. This win would take the series for Believe the Hype, and they need it. They're looking at a tough pool, and they need to come out, but that sticky grenade just goes over the head, just overthrew it, didn't know his own strength, and he doesn't connect.
Oh, Bullet staying alive for so long right here, being a pain. They finally take care of him. Luminosity trying to regain control of their base, and Believe the Hype trying to go into the back, but everyone from Luminosity is waiting. Monster sitting all the way at the back of his side. They're not going to have any sort of follow-up to that push, and Luminosity, this is their chance right now. You have Believe the Hype trapped in their back base. The last 2 flag caps, it's off. It looked like this position.
Yeah.
Can they execute once again?
Oh, Drift uses the thruster, but only comes out with the trade. And Noble, his life is shut down. Believe the Hype are showing us a round of defense. They're stopping this push. Monster's all the way out in the middle of the courtyard to grab that heat wave. 3 rounds left in it, but he doesn't need to use any to get the melee kill. Believe the Hype shut down that push from Luminosity.
And that's what we didn't see in regulation, right? Was them shutting down these pushes from Luminosity. Instead, this time, able to recover quickly, and now they have a chance of their own. They got 3 down. Atzo's last alive. There's a player in the back of the base. Atzo's able to get that kill, but this push isn't done. Believe the Hype is storming onto the beaches. This is their chance to pull the flag, but Drift shuts one down. It's all up to Boammx at the back base. Noble has camo, but they know exactly where he's at.
A lot of the camo has been monopolized by Luminosity, similar to what we saw on Recharge. But on Recharge Oddball, they weren't able to use that camo to get objective time. And right now they need to use that camo to get to the flag. Noble could grab the flag with the few remaining seconds of camo, but he doesn't. He doubles back.
He wanted to get Neuronical, but Neuronical didn't push into his angle, but his teammate picks up the straggler. There's only one player that's running behind Noble that can get this stop. Do Luminosity get there in time? Monster gets one more kill. Noble knows the push is coming.
Oh, it came through mid, though.
He went through mid?
Yeah, it's Monster with not the predicted rotation. Instead of coming up through the generator, he came through mid.
Oh, there's a player above. Drift. Does he know? It goes down. Bullet's still there. He can get these kills, but there's 3 players from Believe the Hype here to stop it. Bullet goes down. Atzo with the follow-up. That flag's going to return, but now you're worried about the counter.
Yeah, you're worried about countering with Believe the Hype, not only resetting that flag at almost the goal line, but now they are in the base. Luckily for Luminosity, they win out the round of slays. Precision is last alive, not able to get the counter pull through. I see Bullet, though, with the heat wave in hand, even off of Luminosity being taken down. I have to assume that weapon is at full ammo. And look at 3 players. Believe the Hype trapped back in the base. Drift is flanking around. He gets great damage, but the slays are all for Believe the Hype.
Yeah, Drift thrusted into a wall, and that mid mistake is going to cost them this push. And Believe the Hype now have about 60 seconds to make something happen. Neuronical trying to lead this charge, but all of the players spawn in front of him, but he's still alive. Neuronical, he's making lemonade out of lemons. They're pushing through. Luminosity seeing the respawn screen. Oh no, they're falling apart.
Neuronical stayed alive in an almost impossible situation, and it's Believe the Hype with the team fire that we've been asking for. And because of that life, he goes in for 1, he goes in for 2. He is clearing out the base of Luminosity.
Camo's up. This could be a massive one for Believe the Hype. If they can get away, they still have the opportunity to win this game. Boamm is alive, and now he's Phantom. There's no one that can see him. He's coming in for shots. This is the chance, and it's shut down. It's a nasty, nasty bullet that puts him 4 down, and suddenly this base is not safe. 20 seconds on the clock, but Atzo's living in red.
Buckle up. This is a roller coaster of a match with 12 seconds to go. Atzo in the back of the base, winning the pivotal kill. I don't know if there's anyone from Believe the Hype that can stop this flag. Bullet is on the run.
We're witnessing a breakdown. Believe the Hype are choking this one away. In overtime, they put it in. Game 5 on its way. A complete breakdown.
I cannot. That was such an emotional ride. Just when you thought Believe the Hype were firing on all cylinders, the breakdown came through. Luminosity has their number.
I want to take a look at these stats. Hurry up, HCS Observer, whoever you are. Move this one over, please.
We love you. You're amazing.
36 kills from Noble. Neuronical was playing out of his mind, but there's just
no way.
There's no follow-up from the rest of the team.
Wow.
4-on-4. I want to see. I don't know if Taylor can get us the stats for who was positive, who was negative, and stuff. But
Drift had the #1 KD with a 10.7, and then Neuronical was second with the 10.0, I believe it was. Those 2 players were really out there with the slaying efficiency. But even with Neuronical, you know, the 10 KD, the most kills on the board, it hasn't led to captures.
now, hey, Mr. Snow predicted a 3-1 in favor of Luminosity. We're going to game 5.
Yeah.
He said Luminosity was going to make this upset happen. Believe the Hype. I don't think, I would say 90% of the people probably think Believe the Hype was going to take this probably 3-0, 3-1. We're in game 5. The Slayer, it wasn't that close last time in game 2. Luminosity have to be feeling a high that very few players will ever feel, right? You're on land, on the side station, playing at the biggest moment of your career.
You can call this the big stage.
Yeah, this is the big stage.
The big stage is actually a living room.
But I just like, they have to be popping off right now. I wish we had a player cam. Well, yeah, what they are saying, that is unreal. How Believe the Hype lost that situation. They had camouflage. They had just gotten the kills. It looked like they were gearing up for a last-second attempt at getting that home, and it just doesn't go. It completely turns around. And shout out to Luminosity for being so quick, right? They got the 4 down. They immediately knew what was next, right? They didn't waste a second getting to where they needed to be.
Yeah, I think that early on in the series, I think it was even game 1, you were saying that that's what Luminosity was not doing. They were not getting plays and then capitalizing, and that's what we saw in overtime because it was so quick from, oh, Believe the Hype are about to take this, right? I think it was Neuronical staying alive, and the team fire was there, and Luminosity shut it down, turned it into a capture of their own so quickly.
Oh, no. They left the player alive. Neuronical is able to stop the Rockets from getting forward, but the drop shield is being a pain for Neuronical to deal with it. Luminosity just stole Believe the Hype sniper.
Both
No!
snipers.
Oh no! Noble gets 2! He stole the sniper, got a double kill! The Rockets at least saved some semblance of this game, but it's a disastrous start for Believe the Hype.
And then that game 2 Slayer, it was like a 50-49 win for Luminosity, but remember that it was neck and neck through the early and mid stages, and Luminosity are not about to let that happen again. They want to win this game 5 Slayer off of the rip. The snipers in their hands. Neuronical uses the rocket, but he's forced to scramble. Finally, a return of Slays from Believe the Hype. If Neuronical can try to stay alive, but look at Drift at the top of Sword. Atzo about to get in. We got a little 2v2 happening over here.
They need to win this one, but Neuronical's the only reason they're still in this game. This could have been a blowout at the beginning. Neuronical staying alive for all that period is incredible for Believe the Hype and is saving their opportunity in this game. That could have been one of the worst starts I've ever seen to start a game. If that rocket doesn't connect and Neuronical stays alive the way that he did, we're seeing Luminosity up by 10 kills right now and having complete control of their base.
Well, luckily for Believe the Hype, Neuronical clutches up when he needs to with the use of that rocket to keep them right in this game. Another kill from Drift comes through. That means Luminosity have that 1 kill advantage. But Noble is trying to force that sniper side spawn. Noble is flanking solo across through long haul, but he has to rush in for that engagement. Ends up as a trade, and both teams basically reset at this point.
Yeah, I like this from Drift, getting out of Sword, repositioning this heat wave. Although it's not as effective as it is in Sword with the close angles, now Believe the Hype believe that Drift is hanging out in Sword.
Right.
But he has a great opportunity for a counter flank here. He just needs to know more information about what's available for them to push.
A little bit of a slowdown here as both teams are reset. Neuronical is the most forward-facing on the side. I Believe the Hype kind of creeping up towards that sniper tower. He does get a kill on that rotation, but Drift is counter-rotating with the use of that heat wave. And not only the heat wave, but the Neuronical stayed alive? Look at no health bar. He just like Pac-Man that rocket.
Neuronical is willing his team to victory right now. This might be the most impressive single-player performance to start a game that isn't with the sniper rifle. It's just him staying alive, doing what he needs to get done for his team. There have been some massive mistakes from Believe the Hype that Neuronical has made into lemonade. And it could be a sour, sour finish for Believe the Hype if they don't start executing on the level that Neuronical is. And look at this flank from Bullet. He's behind one. He's buying his team time, and that heat wave still in there. But hey, Precisin hitting some shots like that, that'll help bring your team to life.
Yeah, living up to his name with that precise headshot. And on the other side, it's Noble with a counter snipe. We saw Noble off screen in the kill feed getting a double kill with a sniper. Can he do it again here? He's looking at top Sword. He's looking out over training, and there it is. The no hesitation headshot onto Boammx. An opening kill. But Believe the Hype now with that 2-point lead. We might see a counter snipe opportunity. Precision starting to heat up as he adds another, and Noble just misses on that headshot.
It's a tough one for Noble. He saw the player weak. He just pulled the trigger. Just not enough damage downrange, and they have to deal with Precision. Here comes the push. There's a player towards green. I don't think Noble knows. Able to clean up one. Noble's been proficient with this rifle. Double. Neuronical comes around the corner. The shot misses, but Luminosity buy themselves some time to play forward.
Yeah, you were getting excited about the triple kill, but the double kill was beautiful enough. That sniper now out of ammo, but Noble with the 8 and 4 leading across from the team of Luminosity. But without a sniper, needs to rely on the BR plays, no grenades in hand. He does enough damage to force Neuronical back to green, where Neuronical gets a kill. Look at how grouped up Believe the Hype is. That team fire, so crucial for this team.
Yeah, Luminosity gave up the entirety of Sword, and it's coming at a massive cost. Noble had to play back towards his team. The only thing that's beneficial about this is Rockets are coming up in 10 seconds, and there's really only one player from Believe the Hype that can make a play for these Rockets.
I said whoever takes game one takes the series, so Believe the Hype have the opportunity to make that happen. But boy, do I love a comeback.
Ooh.
Do I love an upset? Do I love Noble stealing this overshield? Oh, no! He didn't pick it up on the first pass, but then he gets the back smack, and now full overshield. Noble's making it look so easy.
And there's 3 players ahead of him. He tried to repulse the rocket, but it was just too early. But the rest of his team is there. Boamm has the rockets, but blue team is playing forward. Boamm gets one. Oh, that could have been a dangerous situation for Believe the Hype. But every time it feels like Luminosity is about to take this game over, they're able to push back. They're able to provide some resistance. And now, suddenly, I mean, hey, this game, although you've made tons of mistakes, you have a lead. You still can finish this one out.
Yeah, but with that takedown on Neuronical, how much has Believe the Hype been leaning on Neuronical in these plays? This is where Luminosity can get map control, can take the advantage, but instead it looks like they're going to kind of reset again because of the sniper spawns. Both teams have a full sniper at the ready. Precision once again at the top of Sniper Tower. We saw him wreak havoc here before, and he's delivering more of the same as Believe the Hype extend their lead to 7.
Now suddenly Luminosity, they can't feel safe about any corner that they push, and you see Believe the Hype taking advantage. They're playing forward. They want to get into Luminosity's base. If they can get a wipe and stay alive, this game could be well over. Precision needs to finish this kill. He gets it. This is bad for Luminosity. You got a man who's so proficient with this weapon staring at your spawns.
Yeah, and 6 rounds left is plenty to cause some damage. He's looking for Bullet, but instead he's going to get hit by a little bit of shrapnel from the grenades. Answers back with a frag of his own, and then no hesitation on the headshot. Nearly a 180 or a 360. Precision is the problem, and Luminosity don't have the solution.
Neuronical kept them in the game. Precision's gonna win them the game. This sniper play has been incredible. The kills that he was able to get put that separation that you're looking for, and Neuronical kept them in striking distance for so long. And now, with just 6 more kills to go to win this game, it's looking more and more likely, but they're gonna lose these rockets. They're opting to play for the overshield instead. Atzo has a real opportunity. One clean wipe, and Luminosity can take control of Believe the Hype space.
We saw Noble with a wild double kill to win the overshield on the last spawn, but that's not going to be the case here. Atzo with 2 rockets and the team Luminosity 10 points down might be just the last hope. 4 minutes left on the clock.
Oh. Atzo has a second thought. He said, I'm not peeking that. Precision was making him nervous. Neuronical's waiting down low. Oh man, these Rockets, they're just waiting for the opportunity to play forward, and Believe the Hype is trying to bait them in.
Yeah, Rockets do 0.1% more damage per second that you hold them in your back pocket, but that's not real. The trade comes through on the Rockets, and like you said, you can't afford a trade. You're 10 points down, and those Rockets now lying on the ground, a costly mistake, saving the Rockets, but saving them for what?
Save the Rockets, the push is in, but Neuronical was able to get some unanswered trades. The Rockets come through. Only 2 more deaths for Luminosity and a massive comeback to make, but this is the map where you can make dreams a reality. It just comes down to 1 clean wipe, but so far, Neuronical and Precision have teamed up to make an incredible performance, and Monster's looking to put the exclamation point in. There's 3 players ahead. They all put their BRs in. The AR is not going to be enough. Neuronical goes down. Uh-oh. Believe the Hype might be in trouble. They've just given up a ton of space on the map, but because they're only at 2 deaths, Luminosity doesn't feel comfortable with playing forward on those slays, and Believe the Hype are going to be able to refill.
Believe the Hype have feeling like they have all the time in the world to just get 2 more slays on the board. So even off of that key takedown, Luminosity don't have lives to trade out in order to push forward. They still have to play safe. They still have to play defense for slay after slay. Neuronical is the furthest forward on the side of Believe the Hype, and now Monster is setting up some plays with damage across the map.
think they're going to wait for these rockets. Maybe Luminosity tries to make a play towards this overshield early. Who is it? Drift's just hiding out of overshield. Monster's going to have a free kill on him if he can get forward. Oh, the heat wave not going to be enough. Monster gets them to match point, and he has the overshield, but Atzo gets the rockets. What will reign supreme? One rocket away. Monster's hiding underneath. Repulse ahead of him. He has everything he needs to win this game.
Watch for that plasma grenade. Monster just needs to find one unsuspecting player from Luminosity. There's a player above him at training. There's a player at the top of Sniper Tower. He hasn't locked on to either of them. Atzo gets a kill with that second rocket, but a trade is how the game ends. Luminosity showing us slays at the end of the match, but it's not enough. Believe the hype. Clutch up in a game 5.
Insane game 5, and Neuronical's your MVP. Let's just put that out there. The way Neuronical played that early game is the only reason that game didn't get away from them early on. If I'm Monster, Precision, and Boam, half of my winnings going right into Neuronical's bank account. The way that he iced up on that game 5, that is what you expect in one of your star players, and I'm so impressed with what Neuronical was able to do that game.
Neuronical almost did enough of that, making lemons and taking lemons, making it into lemonades, almost enough in the game 4, but in game 5 Slayer, it did go the distance. Comes out with that crazy 18 and 12. Mid-game was Precision with the sniper, full credit there, but Neuronical absolutely coming out as the MVP and the reason why BtH can get their first win in the pool play.